Hello, everybody, and welcome back, where I am coming at you live from a hotel room in Nagoya as I'm currently attending the Suzuka Grand Prix. I love Formula One, and this has been a dream to come down and see it in person, and I'm having a great time. But there is some PSVR2 news that I wanted to cover today, involving a couple of games which you should be excited about, and then some which perhaps need a little bit more time. But as you can see on screen, this is where I'm at right now. I'm back next week on Tuesday, I want to say, UK time. So I'll be back to you with some more impressions about Wanderer and some Hitman gameplay finally, and trying out the new GT7 update when I'm back on my sim rig. So there's a lot to look forward to. But that being said, before we get into this, only 25% you are subscribed, so please feel free to do so. And thank you to our patrons and members for keeping the channel going day to day and week after week. I really couldn't do this without each and every one of you that's on the screen right now. But that being said, let's take a look. First and foremost, Undead Citadel has been hyping some things up. This is a hack and slash fighting game against the undead, as the name suggests, and we've been getting a lot more gameplay on Twitter. It looks fantastic. However, this is one that has been claimed to be close to launch for a very long time and hasn't really come to fruition yet, but I think this is the one. I think that it will be fairly soon-ish. We should at least get like a release date or something, but it's been hyped up for a while, and so here it is. Synth Rider's also now got native bHaptic support on PSVR2. bHaptics are those VR vests that you can put on which simulate haptics about getting shot and feeling the beat and stuff like that. So if you have one of those, you can now play Synth Riders and have that natively supported, which is great to see. Aces of Thunder also had a couple new posts. Usually I wouldn't really cover these in a video like this, but one of them was really intriguing, and that was the Pearl Harbor battle that you can play as, I think, as the Americans defending. It looks fantastic. Visually, this clip really blew me away, and it's this single-player stuff that I'm kind of more excited about than the multiplayer stuff. I do like multiplayer on the flat screen, but I find myself, especially for games which require a bit more skill, to be honest, to playing those in single-player in VR, because I just kind of like to chill out and take in the environments. But as you can see, this is a very good-looking game, and I hope that we get a release date fairly soon. Speaking of release dates, a game that I never thought we'd get one for PSVR 2 is Wallace and Gromit in the Grand Getaway. I think this is kind of like a puzzle game. They got kind of mixed reviews on Quest, but some people definitely did like it, so I'm sure us Wallace and Gromit fans will be picking this one up. Let's just hope it's a good port, and for people, again, that like Wallace and Gromit, like myself, I love claymation and stop motion, this is probably going to be a must-buy. There's also a demo for Silent Operative on PSVR 2. This seems to be a PSVR 2 shooter that has some emphasis on stealth, but the trailer makes it seem very, very like shoot 'em up. Haven't played it myself, obviously, I'm not back yet, but it is free on the store. Give it a go. I'm sure it didn't really help itself by having the demo come out at the same time as Hitman. Give it a go, it's free, why not? Speaking of Hitman, you can vote for it in the Player's Choice Award of the Month on the PS5 blog. The other selections there are Split Fiction and Assassin's Creed Shadows, so we have some pretty tough competition. But if you'd like to give a vote to Hitman, feel free to do so and help the PSVR2 cause. Speaking of boosting PSVR2 on the PS blog, I believe the PSVR2 blog about Flat to VR is now the second most liked blog on the entirety of the PlayStation website, which is fantastic to see. That amount of support is awesome. It seems like the support for PSVR2 is just getting bigger and bigger every single day. And as a PSVR2 player, not even as a creator, but just as a player who likes this platform, that's just great to see. We also got a new look at the Midnight Walk on the official PlayStation Twitter page. This is launching May 8th. Very, very excited for this. Another claymation style game. And from the gameplay, it looks fantastic. The only thing that would let this down for me is a lack of PSVR2 features, which from the previews, it looks like it has a load of PSVR2 features, and it being a muddy port in terms of resolution. This needs to look good in the headset, because that art style needs to have that justice done for it. Lastly, Wanderer: The Fragments of Fate is finally out, and to mixed reviews. People who love the original seem to love the remake because it's very similar to the original with some expanded stuff, and some people are having real problems with two major things, and that is jank and combat for the most part. Jank essentially refers to the body of the player character not quite doing what it's supposed to be doing, some AI and NPC behavior not being as it's supposed to be, and not being able to pick up objects and kind of things going flying even at certain points where they should have set paths. As for combat, people feel it is pretty stiff, and I commented this in my original first impressions. I was told the combat would be fixed on day one because it felt really janky in my build. That's why I didn't show too much of it and kind of glossed over it, because the dev said it would be fixed. I'm sure they intended it to be fixed on day one, but it seems like it isn't. So combat is still as janky as it was in that first impression gameplay that you saw a couple of weeks back. That being said, I still really enjoyed my time with Wanderer, so I'm really not sure what has happened on launch day to get it in this state. I feel like the build I played is not really representative, aside from the combat, of what people are experiencing, and that is really, really disappointing. And I do have to say, kind of sorry on my part a little bit there. I've kind of let you guys down a bit, and that's on me. I presented my honest opinions of the game, But it seems through whatever turn of events, that isn't the build of the game that you guys are getting your hands on now. If you feel like I've misled you at all, then that is fully on me, and I apologize for that. But I did the best I could, and what I said is exactly what I experienced in the game. But unfortunately, that's the way the launch has gone. Hopefully, in a couple of weeks, it will be fixed up. But Mighty Ice have put out a statement saying, "Thank you for all your amazing reviews, feedback, and videos today. It was early over here in New Zealand with a 6 a.m. launch, but we eagerly tuned into your videos and comments. We're grateful for all the love thrown our way. However, we acknowledge that some of you are having issues. Rest assured, we're working hard to resolve these with our priority to alleviate performance problems, fixing significant bugs, and refining combat. Over the next few days and weeks, we'll be releasing patches to give you the best experience possible. We appreciate your patience as we thoroughly test these fixes before making them live. The release date for the PC port will also be announced soon, and thank you from the bottom of our hearts." Again, this is kind of an annoying one. I really feel for the team. They've been pushed, honestly, to their limits to make a VR game that is this ambitious. But unfortunately, yeah, it's one that needed a bit more time, even though it had so many delays. And just hopefully, if you are on the edge of kind of buying it, maybe you wait a couple of weeks until it's patched up and then have a great time with it rather than getting frustrated now. But again, we'll just see how this one goes. I'll keep you guys updated, as I always do with updates to games. But I'll also hop in with the launch build to see how I find it when I return on Tuesday. Anyway, that'll be all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one.